Batman Arkham Asylum is one of the greatest superhero games ever made. Honestly, it might be one of the best games ever, not just one of the best superhero games. All of the games in the series are amazing, and the first one definitely wasn't an exception. This game is absolutely amazing, and I wanted to talk about it and my love of it today. Batman Arkham Asylum is a Batman game released by Rocksteady Studios in October of 2009. This game is generally loved by almost everybody that has played it, and today I will tell you why. The game begins with an opening cutscene where it seems like Batman has recently defeated the Joker and is bringing him back to Arkham Asylum. As soon as you bring him in, he's strapped into what looks like a standing-up gurney and decides to make jokes about everyone and everything within the asylum.
Not so tight, boys. You'll crease the suit. Sharpie loves his cameras. Hey, Sharpie, you getting my good side? Ah, but heck, they're all good, aren't they? Ooh, would you sneak in with your bats? Come on, tell me. Batarangs, bat claws, ooh, bat snacks.
In this part, you get familiar with some of the coolest Batman characters and villains, like Killer Croc and Commissioner Gordon. Because Batman is the world's greatest detective, he feels like something is wrong because of how easy it was for him to capture the Joker. So Batman decides to go through the whole security check with him, and what do you know? It turns out that this was actually his plan all along because Harley Quinn had somehow already had full access throughout the asylum. They never explained that, by the way. Now that the Joker is free, he's gonna raise some hell and has a plan for Batman. After you beat up the tiny waves of thugs that Joker sends at you, it is established that Joker and Harley Quinn are now in complete control of the asylum. The Joker then allows you to follow him, and you eventually end up running into Victor Zsasz and incapacitating him while he's keeping someone hostage. Keep that in mind because it will be important later. Soon after this, you get a transmission from Harley Quinn where she decides to show off her new costume. But more importantly, maybe, is her showing off the fact that she has captured Warden Sharp. One thing that I forgot to mention in the very beginning is the fact that there was a fire at Blackgate Prison that moved all of the Joker's henchmen to the asylum. Very convenient, making the Joker takeover even easier. Batman also isn't going to get any outside help because the people of Gotham believe that Joker has planted bombs all over Gotham and will detonate them if anyone else decides to step foot on Arkham Island. Soon after the Harley Quinn transmission, Batman comes across a room where the Joker has somehow completely contaminated the room with Joker toxin. How the hell did he even get Joker toxin in the asylum? Poisoning everybody inside. This part is important because it lets you know about the very overpowered detective vision, which you will now be in for at least half the game. After following the trail given to him by the Joker, Batman finds him and straight up throws a batarang at him while he's hanging off a ledge. Like, that would have killed him, Batman. I thought you had a no-killing rule. Unfortunately, the batarang misses, and the Joker shows off an extremely scary creation. A humongous human that is actually an underwhelming boss fight that is actually extremely easy to beat. Anyway, after you defeat that hideous creature, Joker gives Batman a free shot to hit him off the ledge. The same thing he was gonna do less than 5 minutes ago, and Batman doesn't do it for some reason. Like, he was literally gonna hit him like 2 seconds ago. Why not hit him now? Anyway, Joker then decides to just ride the cell that he almost got hit off of into the abyss. Batman learns from the security guard that it's a place called Extreme Isolation, which of course is now non-accessible, even though Joker literally went through it like 2 seconds ago. After Batman finds this information out, Joker pops in to show you that he had Officer Bowles knock out and capture Commissioner Gordon. The fact that Bowles was a double agent wasn't all surprising to me because of the giant-ass villain scar across his face, but maybe that was just me. Basically, Commissioner Gordon will die if the Joker finds out that Batman is following him, even though that's what he wants him to do. It makes no sense. Now Batman goes back into the holding cells to find forensic evidence of Officer Bowles so he can track down Gordon. Dumbass was drinking whiskey on the job, so it was a pretty easy thing to track. Batman follows the whiskey trail until he gets to the secret transit, where Harley Quinn decides to drop an elevator on him to no avail. Batman then climbs his way to the surface where he ends up finding people with guns and uses his extremely overpowered detective vision to take them out. After 2 more Predator sections, Batman finds out that the Joker found out how he was tracking them and finds Officer Bowles dead due to Joker toxin. The Riddler also pops up during this part, but he doesn't really do too much in the main story, so we're gonna leave him and his annoying challenges alone. Batman then escapes the building that he's in, and we finally get to see Arkham Island. And I gotta tell you, it looks pretty amazing. Now, I played the Return to Arkham pack on the PS4, but the games looked really good on the last-gen consoles as well. Soon after Batman gets outside, Harley Quinn sends an attack on the Batmobile, which is still parked on the island. After beating up everyone that was trashing the Batmobile, Batman retrieves the explosive gel from the back of the Batmobile, and also finds Commissioner Gordon's pipe, which we can now use to track Gordon. After using some explosive gel to get to another part of Arkham, you can either go straight to Gordon, or go into the Visitor Center for this pretty dope Easter egg.
Come in. Sit down. Take off your mask. So, Bats, I was thinking, you really could use a friend in here. Someone to talk to, share secrets with. Shall we start with the big one? Who is that behind the mask? Why do you feel the need to go out into the world and fight people like me? Do you really think you can win? We'll see.
It turns out that Gordon's in the medical foyer, but there's an electric gate, so you have to find another way into the building. Since you just got the explosive gel, you blow a hole in the roof and get into the medical building, where Batman finds out that the Joker is trying to round up all of the doctors for some reason. After yet another Predator section, there is a fucking ton of them in this game, you find out that the Joker got away and there were 3 more doctors that you have to save before he kills them. You rescue Dr. Young by blowing up some walls, and she tells you that Warden Sharp wants the Joker cured, which is literally impossible. You rescue Dr. Chen by beating a ton of people up and then freeing him. Finally, you rescue Dr. Calaman by clearing a room of poison gas and basically killing one of the Joker's men by letting him fall into the gas, even though it somehow says that he's unconscious if you try to go look at him. After you save the 3 doctors, you meet back in the sanitarium where Dr. Young says that we need to save her research from the Arkham Mansion. After another Predator section, Batman goes in an elevator where the Joker decides to expose him to some of the Scarecrow's fear toxin. This leads into one of the extremely cool Scarecrow levels, which are honestly the best part of the game. Right before the Scarecrow level, Batman sees a dead Commissioner Gordon. This ends up being a side effect of Scarecrow's fear toxin, however, and the Commissioner is actually still alive. These Scarecrow levels are actually some of the only places where I died while playing this game. After the run-in with Scarecrow, Batman ends up finding Commissioner Gordon and saves him from Harley Quinn, after you complete yet another Predator section. Commissioner Gordon and Batman then find Bane, who has had all of the venom in his blood drained out by Dr. Young. Joker, however, pumps his blood with a venom-like substance, and a Bane boss fight begins, after Bane throws Batman through a damn wall. After defeating Bane, Batman decides to hit him with the Batmobile, destroying the Batmobile in the process. Batman also gets Commissioner Gordon off of the island because it's too dangerous for him. Keep that in mind because it will come up much later. Batman then talks to Oracle and reveals that he has a second Batcave hidden on Arkham Island. How he built it and nobody knows about it is a mystery to me, but hey, plot reasons work too, I guess. They used this kind of throwaway line to explain how there's another Batcave here, but I don't really buy it.
I built it years ago. It's best to plan ahead for situations like this.
Another important piece of information here is that Dr. Young was experimenting with venom to create an even more powerful version of the drug. Inside the second Batcave, Batman and Oracle discover that Dr. Young was the head of a project that was experimenting on Arkham patients to create a more powerful version of venom called Titan. Batman discovers that the notes are missing the formula, and if Joker finds it, he will create an army of 1,000 Banes. Before you leave the cave, you pick up the Batclaw and decide to follow Dr. Young to the mansion with Cash. On your way to the surface, you find a pretty scary jump scare where Killer Croc shows up to tell you that he's going to do things like rip your flesh like paper. Some more important information brought up here is the fact that Joker was funding the Titan experiment, but Dr. Young decided to pull out because she was scared about how the experiments were going. Batman defeats some snipers on his way into the mansion, and also beats up some goons, destroying the place looking for Dr. Young's notes. Batman rescues some hostages, and Cash tells him that he told Dr. Young to get her notes and hide somewhere for Batman to find. Batman uses Dr. Young's fingerprints to track her and find out where she hid her notes. Batman finds Dr. Young's notes, only to find out that the Joker got to them first. Joker is now going to use Zaz to get Dr. Young to talk, even though Batman knocked him the fuck out in the very beginning of the game. Could have used a different character here, but Zaz is cool, I guess.
Shortly after deciding to follow Zsasz, Batman is hit with more of Scarecrow's fear toxin, where we find out that people were really mean to an 8-year-old orphan just because he was rich. After defeating Scarecrow for the second time, Batman wakes up in the attic and ends up saving Dr. Young and stopping Zsasz once and for all. After revealing that the Joker has a Titan production facility hidden within the Botanical Gardens, Dr. Young gets blown up by a bomb that the Joker placed within the Warden's safe. Batman wakes up to find Harley Quinn in his face, reminding us that they have Warden Sharp. Batman uses some of the Warden's DNA to track him so we can get into the garden and destroy the Titan production facility. After following the DNA trail to main holding cells, you find some pretty creepy people that are extremely skinny and kind of act like rabid animals. You also find Poison Ivy during this time, who is freaking out because the plants are dying all over the island. Clayface is also here, which is a pretty cool Easter egg. Before Batman frees the Warden, he sees Harley free Poison Ivy, so you know you're going to have to fight her later. Joker also decides to free some of those extremely looking people from their cells. Batman then gets the code sequencer from Warden Sharp and uses it to create the cryptographic sequencer. This thing is dope and will be used a lot from this point forward. Batman then has a run-in with Harley Quinn where he defeats her and basically throws her in a jail cell for the rest of the game. After defeating Harley Quinn, Batman gets into the Botanical Gardens and starts using her fingerprints to locate the Titan production facility. After a quick Predator section, Batman confronts the Joker within the Botanical Gardens, where the Joker kills a guard and blocks the normal path to the Titan production facility. Batman then shuts down power to the room in order to cross the water and continue following the Joker. Harley Quinn's fingerprints lead Batman to the aviary, where he saves some hostages and finds a secret doorway that leads to the Titan production facility. Joker decides to turn 2 of his henchmen into Titan monsters, which Batman ends up defeating. After defeating the Titan monsters, Batman destroys the Titan production facility and decides that Poison Ivy is the only person that can help him create an antidote, so he begins to use her pheromone signature to start tracking her. Batman also gets the line launcher after this, which is probably the most useful tool in the game. After Batman finds Poison Ivy, she tells him that the only plant that can produce an antidote for the Titan drug is hidden in Killer Croc's lair. Batman decides that Cash would know where they keep Croc since he kind of, bit his arm off. So he decides to go back to the Arkham Mansion to talk to him. Before Batman can escape the Botanical Gardens, however, Joker decides to give Poison Ivy some Titan, which causes her plants to grow to crazy sizes. Titan has also caused her plants to mutate and shoot poison spores at you when you go near them. Shit is honestly one of the most annoying parts of the game. Once Batman gets to the mansion, Cash tells him that Croc has his own special cell that is below intensive treatment. Batman quickly finds out that every entrance to intensive treatment is blocked off, so he has to find a different way into the building. It can actually be pretty hard to figure out, but just remember that you just got the line launcher, so you should probably try to use it. Soon after Batman enters the building, Oracle lets him know that seismic activity all over the island is going crazy, and that Poison Ivy is going to completely take over the island soon. After the most annoying Predator section in the entire game, you open some doors, go through them, and your game crashes. When it restarts, you see the opening cutscene again, where Joker is taking Batman to the asylum instead of the other way around. Scarecrow evaluates Batman, and then the Joker decides to shoot him in the head. Hey, you can dodge the bullet by using the middle stick, by the way. After you die, Batman is reborn into the final Scarecrow level and boss fight. This is definitely the hardest Scarecrow level by far. I believe I died at least 5 goddamn times. After you defeat Scarecrow for the final time, he decides that he's gonna flood the catacombs with enough fear toxin to break the mind of everybody in Gotham for 100 years. Before he can do this, however, Killer Croc decides to jump out of the water and fucking kill him. Just kidding. Batman then finds Croc's lair and goes through it to the Titan antidote. As soon as Batman enters the lair, he sprays a ton of explosive gel on the ground. Keep that in mind because it will be very important soon. After evading Killer Croc and collecting the Titan antidote, Batman leads Croc all the way back to the entrance of his lair and uses that explosive gel to blow a hole in the ground and trap Croc underground. Batman then goes back to the Batcave and creates the antidote using the plants he collected. Shortly after creating the antidote, one of Ivy's plants gets underground and destroys the second Batcave, which explains why it isn't in any other fucking media after this. Before escaping the cave, Batman creates the Ultra Batclaw, which now fires 3 Batclaws at once and now allows you to straight up rip through the walls. Poison Ivy's plants are now threatening to destroy Gotham, so Batman is now forced to stop her. While on his way back up to the surface, Batman finds out that the Joker has polluted the main sewer junction and now must find a way to stop it. If Batman doesn't stop the pollution, the Titan will get into the Gotham River and start mutating all of Gotham. Batman now must shut down all 3 control rooms in order to stop the pollution and save Gotham. After shutting down all the control rooms, Joker sends down a Titan monster because he's a salty loser. After defeating that wave of goons, Batman gets to the surface where he realizes just how powerful Poison Ivy is becoming, and decides to go straight to the Botanical Gardens to stop her. After fighting his way through the Botanical Gardens, he reaches Poison Ivy and defeats her by blowing her up with explosive gel. After blowing Poison Ivy up, the Joker tells Batman that the party he's been planning all along is ready at the Visitor Center. After beating up 20 goons for literally no reason, Batman enters the Visitor Center and somehow survives an explosion that the Joker blows up right in his face, if you know what I mean. After somehow surviving the explosion, Batman confronts the Joker and beats up some more of his henchmen, including 2 more Titan monsters. After defeating that wave of goons, Joker reveals that he somehow captured Commissioner Gordon, even though Batman forced him off the damn island earlier. Anyway, the Joker decides to try and shoot the Commissioner with the Titan dart in order to spice things up. Batman decides to take the dart instead and somehow resist the transformation. Joker then decides to kill himself by shooting himself with the Titan dart. Just kidding. The Titan dart turns the Joker into a Titan monster who still has full control over his mind. This is a very underwhelming final boss fight IMO, but some people really like it and the game is pretty good, so I'll let it slide. Batman and the Joker end up fighting on the roof of the Visitor Center, and Batman ends up beating the monstrous Joker by punching him in the mouth with explosive gel. I don't really understand how Batman doesn't blow up his hand with this move, by the way, but whatever, the game's over at this point. The post-boss fight cutscene shows the asylum returning to normal and Batman continuing his night's work and going to stop Two-Face's bank robbery attempt. Finally, the end cutscene shows what I believe to be Bane's hand grasping a container of Titan, which really doesn't foreshadow the next game at all. Batman Arkham Asylum is one of the best games ever made, and it was truly a pleasure to play. I'll be playing the sequel next, so stay tuned for Batman Arkham City next time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.